tuned into Tampa Bay's RBLR Sports.
Hello and welcome. This is RBLR Sun FC. My name is Liz. This is JD. He's special to the pod. JD, how are you doing?
Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Real knowers know. If you know, you know. I'm doing well. I feel fulfilled. Sun soccer has returned. I can stop pretending to be interested in so many other things, although the WAFCON final was cool. It was nice to be interested in that. Now it's Super League season, and there were a lot of games. So I definitely am happy that the Sun are back. And also, I had some community this weekend because we went to the watch party. So I feel fulfilled in that way too, with even more coming up next weekend. We're doubling down at the beginning of the season. So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. How are you doing, Liz?
I am doing pretty good as well. Watch party was very, very fun. We'll get into that in a second, but it's good to have Sun soccer back. It's good to see good Sun soccer. You gotta love those last minute goals, the ones that keep you on the edge of your seat, and it definitely did this week.
On the road is pretty impressive. I think, well, shout out to you, Liz, starting the predictions game with a full 3 points, correct score prediction and result. I had predicted a 2-1 win. Now, you know, some would say that's not too far off. We definitely could have scored one more in this game. So I'll take mine as mine was the optimist view, but it was possible. It also, James's prediction.
I think you're just early. As usual, I think you're just early.
James's prediction was a 2-1 loss. That also technically was possible, but I think we were closer to a 2-1 win than a 2-1 loss, yes, if you'll allow me that. So pretty cool to see the Sun not be abysmal. Shit. So we're living. Good job. And Eureka also predicted 1-1 draw. So good job to both of you guys.
Yes, thank you. I am always right, and I will hopefully continue to be always right.
And I'll always be early, which means I never am right. I'm just
always you're always be like early. 2 matches ahead.
Yeah.
So we went to the watch party. It was at Coppertail Brewery. It was really good. Except that I don't love how Coppertail takes orders. It's kind of inefficient. And I don't think the Sun realized how many people were coming. I know you can get RSVPs, and they did ask for RSVPs, but one, you never know. Some people the day of will be like, oh, it's raining or something. They don't want to go, or, plans change. So, and they just well, don't need to go to that or something. But it was full.
I think the Sun had at least a couple days out north of 70 RSVPs. My ticket rep mentioned that to me on the phone. So I think they did actually have an idea. I think we filled the space well. It wasn't too
oh my
bad.
Gosh, yeah.
Pulled some tables together and
several tables. Yeah, we were those assholes pulling way too many tables together, making our own giant table.
Well,
it was great.
We should just have one giant table for all the Sun fans if it's 70 people. But yeah, I think more breweries with they want it to be like a tap house. They don't want it to be a restaurant. Buddy, you operate a restaurant. Get some servers. I'm sorry to tell you. I realize that you want it to be a tap room or whatever. If you serve food, please don't make me order at the bar. Otherwise, the facilities were nice. We had a nice big screen. There was a weird thing with the audio delay. The audio was 10 seconds behind. I don't know if you noticed because you could barely hear it. But there would be an attempt on goal, and then 10 seconds later, you could hear the commentary kick up with more emotion. So that was kind of weird, but it wasn't too bad because you couldn't really hear it anyways. But we had a big screen to watch, and there was room for everybody, and the drinks were good, and we got drink tokens with. I don't think I paid for a drink all night, so I'm happy with that for sure. So it was a good time, and it was nice to see everybody. It was nice to see you, Liz, as well, but also just the Heatwave members that I don't see as regularly, and also general Sun fans that I only really run into. I don't even get to run into that often during games because the Heatwave's all the way at one end, and they might sit dispersed throughout the rest of the stadium. So it was nice to see everybody there, and it was a good time. We chatted with Christina as well again, and as well as the other front office staff, Ray, my new ticket rep, and everything. So yeah, pretty cool. Nice giveaways, signed jersey, things like that. All in all, good show. Kind of what I expected. I thought it would be pretty solid, and I feel like the Sun delivered on their part. And if they did that exact same thing again, I think my only like complaints were like, oh no, it was like too busy. Oh no, too many people showed up to my women's soccer watch party. So all that is to say, I don't have that many complaints. Yeah. So
too many people excited about my soccer team.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. Shout out to everyone who went, especially, Ryan, Brian. I just realized they rhymed. I didn't mean to say them right after each other.
We got to introduce David from Tampa to David from St. Petersburg. That was a huge cultural moment.
Yeah. Which if you're in the Discord, shout out to Rick who was there. He was like the first person there too. It was crazy. He already had a picture of the scarf in the Discord before we had like even walked in. Which was the season ticket holder gift. It was a pretty cool scarf. It says 2025 or 2026, 2027 season. So I don't know if maybe they made these before the schedule change. I don't know, but it's a very nice looking scarf. It has the team name and it has the a similar design to what's on the side of the jerseys with the tile. It's a nice looking scarf. As far as like season ticket holder scarves go, I've gotten some really bad ones from the Rowdies. Actually, they have one that they give out every year.
Is it the same one still?
It is still the same one.
I have like 3.
Yeah. So I have to hand it to them. They at least did something custom. I like that it has the year on it. Like just a little bit of effort. I love it. It makes it so like, okay, now you got something you can display. It's not, generic. It's unique to the jersey of the time. So even if it is for this season and next season, all of 2027, it's still going to match the jersey. It's still going to be relevant. I like it.
Yeah. Not to do a scarf design sidebar, but that's absolutely what I'm about to do. Summer scarves, the thin ones that 90% of like thinkers in Florida will get their teams, because why are you getting a winter scarf in Florida? Summer scarves allow for like much more fine printing, like thinner lines in the design, because obviously like a knit scarf is like the whole thread has to be that color. So I like when a designer actually utilizes the fact that it's like you can like have a more detailed design. So like not only the tile pattern, which looks great on that scarf, but also like the font or the words are pretty small in different places. Because if you're hanging up, I mean, I'm looking behind you, Liz, at the few scarves you have hanging up there, and it's like, it's like all the club crests on that Super League scarf behind you you can see it, you can read the words on them and everything. So it's like use that, and I think the designer, presumably it was Josh, the club designer, did a really good job at like making the font small. So if you hang it up on a wall, it's like there's detail to it. The closer, it's like a piece of art, like the closer you stand to it, the more you get out of it, kind of thing. So not every scarf just has to have the biggest possible text and nothing else. Like you can add detail and texture. So I was admiring it a lot.
Green and yellow and say season ticket holder.
Yeah, and not have like a year implied.
Yeah.
So yeah, great, and a great gift, I think, because I mean I don't need unlimited scarves, so I would like the gift to maybe change on alternating years or something. But I don't think, I guess I do have an inaugural season scarf maybe, but this is like a really nice looking one. So happy to.
See, I don't even mind a scarf every year, because the heat wave's not going to do a scarf every year. Like we're probably just going to re-release this guy without the inaugural on it and just have it as an every year scarf at some point. Because I don't want to have to design one every year, because that's a lot of work, and then 2, like no one wants to buy one every year. What the heck, you can come in with 50 scarves on.
Yeah. I have not heard, sorry not to change the subject, but I have not heard about a watch party for next week if you're not going to the game. So our watch party is going to be at Hodges Stadium in Jacksonville, but I don't think, or I haven't seen it announced, the club is doing a at-home watch party. So correct me if I'm wrong, but if there's any coordinating that people are getting together to watch the game, that would obviously happen in the Heatwave Discord if you want to join over there. Or, and I'll just say this off the top, so you have the info. We are going up to Jacksonville. We have taken up all the tickets that the club allocated to us, but you can purchase tickets and that link from Jacksonville, Sporting Jacks, And that link is available in the Heatwave Discord too. So whether you're coming up to the game or if you want to maybe organize something for people back here to watch, that info would all be in the Heatwave Discord. It's pretty much the largest centralized community of Sun fans on the planet, unless there's like a secret Bangladeshian Discord that we don't know about that has like 100 active people, but that feels doubtful.
I think I need to make that the description.
Centralized, democratic. Yeah. Republic of the Heatwave.
Yes. And if you need access to the Discord, send me a message on the Heatwave on Instagram. Send a message to Eureka on the RBLR Sun. It'll get to me no matter what. Just leave a comment here. I'll send me a smoke signal. I'll find it. I will get it to you.
Yeah, it's been pretty nice. And Rick is shout out to Rick again is a perfect example of that. He had some really kind things to say to us about the show, and I wanted to share that we really appreciated that. It made us feel good inside. So thank you, Rick. But also, he's a great example of he's not in the supporter section with us necessarily, but the Heatwave Discord is more generally a Sun Discord, and he's a very engaged fan, and so he shares news in there when he sees it. He gets news from there if he didn't see it first, things like that. So that's like a great example of like you don't have to be a supporter with us in the Heatwave section singing the songs with us to be part of the community. And also, even if you're in the Discord, you're a member of the Heatwave. The Heatwave doesn't have to be we're just Sun fans at large, you know. So yeah, it's a cool place to be. Plug over. Liz, shall we talk about the game?
I mean, yes, except I did say at some point that every person in the stadium is in the Heatwave. They just don't know it yet. So
we're not wrong, just early.
Yep. All right, we had a game. We had a whole match, a whole 90 plus minutes. And it went moderately well.
Big empty Cotton Bowl Stadium in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah. I didn't look at the attendance. Was it bad?
I can look it up right now while you get started.
Okay. So the broadcast put on a lineup. Sometimes it's wrong. It's never been this wrong. So I'll give you the real lineup. And then after I'm done, I will point out, or I'll say, I'll point out the debuts afterwards. Because we did have a handful of players make their debut. Very exciting. So up top we had Shay Connors and Kennedy White. Right behind them in the midfield we had Alistro, Daria Raji, and Nacello. All used full names for some of our newer players so that we get used to their full name. And then as the weeks go by, we'll get more comfortable, just shorthand, all that fun stuff. We have Reagan Raby, right? Robbie. Yeah. Okay, sorry. I even have the pronunciation guide up. Robbie. I'm going to get it right. We had Chisholm, Bissett, Taylor Hill?
Kelsey Hill.
Sorry. And then Leah Scarpelli, and then Beardsley in goal. On the bench, we did have, oh my goodness, I'm still learning names. Is it Christina Roque? Yeah, sorry. I'm so bad at these names. Who's Ferguson? Jasmine Ferguson. I know these names. What am I doing? Erica Chippy, Henny, Tori Zierenberg, Zaid, and of course Parker Goins. I will get used. I'll have these names. I'll have these names down by the next game. It'll be.
And
fun.
All of this happened in front of a whopping crowd of 2,041 people.
Ooh.
Well, it's better than the Sun average attendance last year.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. So
you don't have to say that number. I don't want to hear that number.
Well, our stadium with 1,000 people in it is 1/5 full. Their stadium with 2,000 people in it is 1/50th full. So
yeah. Fair. Rough.
It's fine. We did have a number of injuries, so we kind of in the preview and the build up to the season starting in our last few episodes, we talked about how some players might gel together, and I think this lineup is actually affected by our injuries because just off the top, Sam Kroger was on there, and we know from Mike's great report on the scrimmage against USF a couple weeks ago that Sam played in that game and was a great midfield partner for Jordan Listro. So that is kind of an interesting way to start the season. Hopefully all of these injuries are not going to be too long term, but these players not being available and being some of the most promising players that we had coming into this season, players that I penciled in as starts if I was predicting lineups, them not being available definitely was kind of rough. And the team is talking about grit. There's no better way than thinking you had some players available that you don't. And now we got to dig a little bit deep right at the beginning of the season. But to read off the list in its entirety, Sam Kroger was on there, Alexis Thioret, Deja Torbert, Emery Wegner, and Sabrina McNeil. And Sabrina is, Sabrina and Emery are the two returning players on that list. Sabrina was our top assister last year, so that makes a difference at left back. And then Sam Kroger and Deja Torbert, to me, were like almost guaranteed starts. We know that Deja is going to be going forward and kind of being a partner or at least contributing in areas that Sydney Nacello is frequently in to free up her into more space. I already talked about Sam Kroger in the midfield, in the deep midfield. And then Alexis Thioret would have been, in my opinion, a great sub to bring in maybe in the 60th minute or so. It's possible that based on what she was showing in preseason that DSB might have wanted to start her as well. I think she's like in the conversation for starting as well. So that's three players that I would consider almost starters that we didn't have. And then, Emery Wegner, I think we signed another goalkeeper like in the week leading up to the game, probably because Emery picked up that injury. So not really sure how long-term that's going to be for her or really any of them. We don't really have a timeline, but hopefully not too long. Although our team didn't do half bad without them. So I'm saying that, all these promising players didn't get to play. Well, a squad of players did play and they did a great job. So that's not to take anything from them. But if there's any more injuries picked up, we hope this list gets a lot lighter. So, kind of interesting. What we expected coming out of preseason ended up a little bit different in this first game.
I just realized I didn't say which players made their Sun debut. Like I said I was going to. So that was Kennedy White, Daria Raji, Reagan Robbie, Kelsey Hill, Leah Scarpelli, Christina Roque, Jasmine Ferguson, and Tori Zierenberg. See, I nailed it that time.
That was great.
I knew it.
It's the first game for us too,
Yeah. I know, but I gotta be professional.
Yeah.
So 2 things I noticed right off the bat. 1, how did I forget Sophia Braun got picked up by Dallas? Shit. I saw her on the screen and it was like a jump scare. It was like, where'd you come from? And then also it was kind of funny because we had Allie Rogers was on the call. And Allie Rogers, if you don't remember, was the blonde, very angry looking lady who coached Fort Lauderdale for a hot minute. She took over for Tyrone Mears after he moved up to like president of soccer at Fort Lauderdale United. And then she got relieved of duties at some point during 2025, I want to say, the second half of 2025. But it was just kind of funny to be like, all right, she's not coaching anyone right now, so I guess she has time, but all right.
I was going to say, I mean, who knows the Super League better than literally a coach in the league who would have scouted all the players and known. She was an assistant there before, I think, and then she was like interim, and then they made her head coach, and then they made her not head coach anymore.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, and she also sounded like she was saying the whole thing through gritted teeth the whole time. I don't know.
I should be out there.
We start off pretty strong. We end up not having like most of the possession, but I would have sworn at least in the first 30 minutes we definitely did. 4th minute we already got a shot on. Shay Connors has one. It's agonizingly wide. It hits the side netting, but I love the momentum. I love the energy we have right off the bat. It's great. 5th minute, I had to point this out. Nacello actually stays on her feet. She's not trying to immediately get a foul in the box. I feel like this is character growth. This is character development. I like
discipline.
This.
That's what Mike was talking about in preseason. He saw discipline out there. I was like, huh? From this team? But yeah, saw it all through this game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I have to say, some of these are some vibe-based notes. Some of them are tactical. Because it is the first game of the season. I haven't seen everybody in a minute. So like we have Jasmine Hamid has full on like Disney princess hair. It's too pretty. And it does like the perfect little bounce when she like jogs. It's too cute. I had to point that out because she's on camera a fair amount. Especially in the first half. We neutralize her a little more in the second half, so we see less of her, but in the first half, you cannot miss her, and her hair is so pretty. I had to point it out. 9th minute, we are already kind of getting chippy. So a minute before I missed this, sorry. Daria Raji already gets a yellow in the 8th minute for taking out Cedeno on Dallas. Just like I think she like clears her out of the ankles on this one. So we're already kind of getting chippy, and it continues to get chippy. There's one player that I would bet dollars to donuts is going to get a red card at some point in this season for sure. We'll get to her in a second. Nacello has a classic run straight up the wing and into the box, shoots, and it's straight at the keeper. And I think at this point I turned and was like, it's the Sun. We're shooting at the keeper. We have a couple more good plays. We have Bissett with a really good slide tackle. The reason I'm saying a lot of this too is one, just to say we were doing a lot of things in this first half. There was a lot going on. It wasn't like a midfield battle even. Like it was very actively in their attacking half. It was good.
Yeah.
Shay Connors has another agonizingly close again, but JD liked this play a lot more, and he would like to tell you about it.
Dude, Leah Scarpelli is a beast, first of all, this whole game. But this 15th minute attempt that Shay Connors gets is off the end of a genuine dime from Scarpelli, who is on our half, so behind midfield. And on the touchline, right in front of the benches, like I guess kind of right in front of the fourth official. And she gets this beautiful looping. I mean, it's a cross, but it's like a through ball, and it plops right in front of Shay Connors, and she's through on goal. It was unbelievable. So I just want to shout that out. If Leah could do one of those a game for the next year and a half, I hope we have her signed at least through 2027. We got our money's worth, whether or not it leads to a goal. It was amazing. But she also, I noticed we were going direct a lot with these kind of long balls over the top, and Scarpelli is definitely one of the biggest contributors to that. And so that was just one example. Like, this is like, I'm telling you to go watch it if you didn't catch it during the game. It is just such a great pass. And it's a real bummer that Shay Connors didn't get on the end of it, because the assist and the goal, because Connors' attempt was pretty great too, to get on the end of kind of like a bouncing ball in front of her. It would have been highlight reel material. So kind of a bummer, nothing resulted of it, but I feel one in the back of the net in the next couple of weeks. It has to be. That was so good. We have to score one of those. So shout out Scarps on that one.
17th minute, we have a great one of Listro to Kennedy White. It was great service in from Listro, and it was so close to being on target. What I really liked about that was that Raji is being there and doing Listro's job, so that Listro can get all the way up and provide that service right up there into the box. So I love it. It just chef's kiss the way things are working out and the way plays are working, and I like it. I'm excited. 19th minute, Liz Beardsley scoops up a ball easily from one of Dallas's first attempts in our third. 20th minute, we have Raby being very comfortable, coming through the middle in a very like Giamona-esque way. I liked it a lot.
But Liz, Reagan Robbie is supposed to be at right back. So here's how we look in the first 20 minutes. Liz has talked about our chances, and we have had some great chances here, but we're playing pretty direct and we're being really efficient. So we already have 5 shots and 1 on target in this first, like, it's actually like the first like 18 minutes or so. But one of my issues, most of which is going through Shay Connors, by the way. My issue, though, is that Reagan Robbie is not really fulfilling her duties as a right back, and she's kind of leaving Chisholm exposed. And in a couple tacks, she is so far pushed forward, like you're saying, she's running through almost as if she's an attacking midfielder. She's so far pushed forward and central that Dallas is able to kind of turn over the ball past her, and then we kind of default into a 4-back, and Chisholm is left on the right side alone. So this is something that I feel like, yes, when you have a 5-back system, which is what we started with, and I don't know if we made that clear, but it was Robbie, Chisholm, Bissett, Hill, and Scarps, like across the back. Scarpelli and Robbie, being the two wingbacks. You can absolutely have one player push forward and kind of like default to a 4 to catch off the attackers. Like, the attackers are pressing you on the back line, and you want to get it past them to at least break the first line, if not the second line of defense with, their attacking midfielders. So Robbie's not wrong for pushing forward, but in a couple plays, and especially one pretty much right at the 20-minute mark, she is so far forward on an attack that then we are like lacking numbers getting back. And so I think ultimately this leads to her being one of the first subs in the game. She subbed out at halftime. She didn't have a bad game by any means. She is just like an attacking player.
She's injured.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, she's like a little thing that happens like right before halftime, so I think she like sticks it out. But yeah, she might have stayed in.
It might have been it might have been a knock as well, just for precaution too. But either way, she wasn't having a terrible game by any means, but she was leaving our defense with a little bit more to do than they really should have to have. With a 5-back, you should really have those 3 center backs like pretty locked in and have somebody covering like the attacking winger. And she just wasn't getting there every single time. There were a couple times she left them out to dry. So that's like what I was kind of keeping an eye on in that first half. And ultimately she was wanting to play more forward or more in the midfield. And I am thinking maybe Sabrina McNeil, if she's healthy again, could be the left back or the right back. And then we could have Robbie play more forward if she wants, and she could play like a winger role or something like that. But until then, I think, I don't know, there's like a shuffle in there that I could see. We could also play the same lineup and she could do better next time too. So I'm not mad at it. And if she has a knock, I mean, I hope she's okay. I hope she's not injured for sure. But she was definitely really great on her attacks. She had some good opportunities. I just would like to see her play her role all the way up and down the right. You're not just playing up the right, you got to play back too. So I'd like to see that a little bit more exact, I guess.
20th minute, Kelsey Hill gets a little handsy with Jasmine Hamid and gets a yellow. This is definitely an example of how it's starting to get a little chippy. We're starting to get a little grabby. If you listen to the Pegasus post match, they don't like us. We play dirty, and I was like, we don't do that. And then I saw this, and then also something that Nicello does a little later, and I'm like, oh well, all right, yeah, all right, fair enough, all right. 23rd minute, Reagan Robbie doing great work to get the ball, doing some fancy footwork, puts in a cross that was just a little bit too early for everyone, but I liked what she was doing. I think if she had slowed up just a smidge bit or made it just like maybe float a little bit, it would have been there at the right time, but just a little early. 26th minute, Bissett does go down injured. It looks like she got just like a smidge trampled by Jasmine Hamid. Not intentionally, of course, just the way, people were running. But she does have her hand wrapped. It doesn't look super, she continues playing, but it doesn't look super great. So fingers crossed she's okay. She does play out the rest of the match. 29th minute, Scarps has a failed slide tackle, but it doesn't matter because Hamid skies the cross in towards the net. But I wanted to point out because it was a really nice slide tackle. 31st minute, it's Gamero Gamero is who I think is definitely going to get a red card at some point very, very soon. Gamero does have a killer shot from just outside the box. Liz Beardsley makes a huge save with just the smallest touch to push it over the net. And if she had not gotten a hand on it, it would have gone in 100%, and we would already be down 1 in the 30th minute. The 32nd minute, this does result in the first Dallas corner. It is cleared out and taken across the field by Sid, but of course she overshoots the cross to Shea, and we miss it. Gamero gets the ball back a minute later, and takes another shot from the top of the D. Beardsley pushes it out. Bissett clears it from there. One thing I noticed about this is that this feels like a goal we would have given up last year. There was a little bit of a scramble in the box because Beardsley just pushed it out, didn't quite catch it. She figures that out later in the game, how to catch the ball. But this feels like a goal we would have given up last year, and we would be down 1 already, or 2 possibly even. 34th minute, we have the first real Nacello takedown on a breakaway. Not quite a yellow, but definitely tackles her a little bit. 38th minute, Nacello, here we go. Nacello gets a well-deserved yellow. I think this is when she clears out the ankles. So we have several yellows already. We are not getting the Fair Play Award this year, that's for sure. And I'm kind of a fan of it, honestly. 42nd minute, the ref tells Gamero to calm down. There's a little shoving action between Jordy and Gamero, and it's kind of funny because Jordy must be like 7 or 8 years older, so it must feel like a child to her. It's just like, but it's funny because we're in her head now.
Yeah, she was fired up a lot of the match.
Yeah,
but it's kind of funny that we took the first 3 yellows of the game. I feel like she had at least one tackle in there that might have been card worthy, but
I think the ref was being a little bit lenient. And I definitely think that later on for us, there's like a foul that Sid does that definitely should have been a second yellow, quite frankly. And she's really lucky it wasn't. So I think maybe the ref was giving us a break. Maybe they were giving Dallas a break. I don't know.
Also, sometimes it feels like it's just between like a couple players too. Like if the ref is seeing that like overall the teams are playing each other pretty clean, but there's just like, one matchup that's a little more chippy. I feel like they're just like, okay, well, as long as it's like equal between you two, then it's not like a imbalance and it's not worthy of giving a card. You guys are just playing each other tough,
Yeah. 45th minute, what happens to be what I would say is the most dangerous shot of the half. Jasmine Hamid at almost point blank range with no one around for miles, it seems like. Beardsley scoops it up though, thank God. But what the heck happened there? Oh my God. 45th plus 3rd. It is our first corner. We take it short by Nacello. Raji fires it in. It does get cleared out by Hinson on Dallas. And this is what I was talking about earlier. 45th plus 5. It's the last minute of injury time. Robbie goes down. Looks a little rough. And then shortly after blows the whistle for halftime.
Yeah. I didn't catch that one.
Yeah, halftime 0-0. Dallas has 65% of the ball. They got 3 shots, 2 on target, 1 corner, 6 fouls. We have the other 35%, 7 shots with 1 on target, 1 corner, 9 fouls.
Yeah. I thought this was a pretty good half for the Sun, especially for the first half of the year, and especially how lethal we were looking in the first 20 minutes. I mean, we were just taking it to them. I wish that we didn't cool down, but Dallas also played into the game. So it's not really up to us as much as Dallas just controlled the ball better and didn't turn it over, especially to like our back line, who, like I said, Scarpelli was getting those long balls over the top. I think we were unlucky not to have one in the first half, and I would have liked to see Shea Connors bury one. She had some really great opportunities, and I think just a little more finesse is probably needed from her to convert one of those. I mean, there was one that she was trying to kind of loop it under the keeper. That's the side netting. Nacello's shot went straight to the keeper. That, if she caught it a little bit differently, is just out of reach. Like, there's just a few close calls that didn't go our way. But I think ultimately we are okay, like, absorbing the pressure and letting them play possession. They were not pushing into the box like they were controlling the ball. They didn't have insanely good passing lanes and weren't pushing into our final third in like a super threatening way. So we were okay with them just holding the ball and passing it around in midfield, as long as they weren't coming on attack. And when they did, we were able to take it off them most of the time. So that was great to see. I think this first half is like a really solid representation of like hopefully what a middle of the road Sun performance looks like this year. Like, at our worst, we're not conceding, but maybe we're also not converting. But like last year, like you said during your analysis during this half, last year we would have conceded something in there,
Yeah.
and Beardsley looks better. She's still a developing player. This is still her first experience playing professionally. I think she was on the bench in the NWSL, but she wasn't getting minutes in games. And so she's still like a player that year over year can have great improvement. And I think we're starting to see that in terms of just her like shot stopping and control. And then beyond that, like tactically, we looked like we were playing to a game plan and we were executing on that plan, other than a couple small things like I pointed out with Robbie, which it's the first half of the season. So there's nothing detrimental there. I mean, last year at the end of the year, I was like crying about how bad our forward midfielders were, just in terms of not leaving each other space and not finding space for each other and things like that. It's like, we're nowhere near that. That was dire. We look miles better than that. And this is with a couple key injuries and also away from home. So yeah, this was a great half, and I really liked what I saw.
So we do make that one sub. We do bring Zayd in. We take Robbie out. I know you had some thoughts here. Did you want to say them?
Yeah. So this kind of leads to a good tactical change for us. Like I said, Robbie wasn't exactly doing her best work splitting the duties between the offense and the defense, and Zayd becomes more of a right wing back, capital back. Like, she's actually staying back more, and she more competently covers the entire right flank. And I think, like, looking at her heat map, like her heat map is like equally distributed across the whole field. And I'm like, okay, that's what your role is. I mean, if we had more of the ball, if we had 60% possession during this game, then I do expect Zayd to be more up the wing and more forward because we're attacking more. But in a game where we were absorbing pressure, I need my backs to be back. So she definitely is more competent at covering that side of the pitch. And then that allows Chisholm to be less responsible for the wingers there, and she can play more of the center back role. So we kind of had a shift where we really came into the 5-back system, as opposed to it being like a 5-back setup, but in practice it ended up kind of being 4, with Chisholm covering the right more. And then, Chisholm is able to get into the center with Hill and Bissett in kind of a 3-back. And then Scarpelli was actually way more consistent on the left side. So she was playing back. She was doing that. So in the first half, we had almost like a lopsided build where Scarpelli was getting forward, but Chisholm was having to stay back. Now we have Scarpelli and Zayd getting forward up each side of the pitch. And Zayd continues this kind of into like the rest of the half. We'll get into her contribution at the end, but also Nacello kind of fills the void up the left a little bit more, and Scarpelli also isn't forced to get as forward. This allows us to absorb Dallas pressure. So as we go through these notes in the second half, especially out of the gate, Dallas is pushing a lot more, and we're having to absorb a lot more pressure. So Scarpelli is playing back. Zayd is playing back. And I thought we looked pretty solid on our defensive setup. And then I was proven wrong. But the setup is not always the execution. And I think the setup was solid. And we did play the rest of the half pretty much with that setup. I can get into how the subs in the future change it a little bit. But yeah, again, it's a system that's like identifiable. I'm looking at it. We're playing the ball through the center backs, and then they're passing it up to the wing backs. And in this instance, in this game, the wing backs were passing over to the forwards. in future games that might have more presence on the wings, we might see that ball come through Listro or Rajai in the middle. But otherwise, like, wow, we actually have like a distribution system that I can identify. And it's not just like whatever the center back finds an open spot and she boots it through and nobody gets on the end of it and then we turn it over, which was a lot of last season. So, I just based off of that sub, I think Zaid just did a better job playing that right side in the second half overall.
But unfortunately, we're still a little bit sleepy when we come out at halftime because 48th minute, Dallas goal. Shea Connors gets dispossessed. Scarps tries to keep up with Seven Chastain, but can't. Gets outpaced. Beardsley makes a challenge in the box, does the absolute right thing. I have no criticism of Beardsley for this. She does everything you're supposed to do. She has like an arm out, both legs are out. She's made herself as big as possible and is coming out as quickly as she can to cut off all avenues. What happens is the ball just like she doesn't quite get a hand on it. It pops up, and it's out. They get a run on it and they score. And it's Scarps even tries like sliding in, like God bless her. She's still trying to the very end. And I love it. She misses, but it was just a really good ball from Dallas.
Yeah, I put this one on Kelsey Hill. She's seen the tape back. I'm sure she feels the same way. She was our center back, so she had Bissett on one side and Chisholm on the other. And this ball comes through as she's pushing on the like kind of attacking midfielders of Dallas. She's pushing up out of the back line. So Bissett is back, Scarpelli is back, Chisholm is up a little bit more on the right side covering another player. So when Hill is that far forward ahead of her own like partners in the back line, just the vision that the Dallas player had to put that ball through for Seven. And also like credit to Seven Chastain for the follow-up on this one, because if you get dispossessed by the keeper, I feel like 8 times out of 10 that plays over. The keeper either like blocks it and collects it themselves, or it gets blocked and bounces to a defender because you're on a breakaway. You don't have your teammates there. Every once in a while you get a teammate there. Those are the two where you have a teammate there and they get the second ball. Seven got the second ball here because she just followed up on it. She circled back on the email. So it bounced away from Liz. And like, this is what Liz was saying. Our Liz was saying it was just like the perfect bounce for them. So Liz did everything she could. Your only job is to stop it. She can't catch it. There's a player running at her full speed. So yeah, like I said, credit to Seven to like finish the play. Credit to Scarps for diving, like you said, doing a big slide, putting her body on the line. I love to see that anytime a player goes to ground in a last ditch effort. That's what I want to see. But yeah, unfortunately, Hill was just out of position and left that huge gap between Scarpelli and Bissett to just have Seven Chastain walk right through. So don't want to see that again. But also, we didn't really do it that much else in the game. So just a mistake on that play, I think. And they took the most advantage you can, you know?
Yeah, I think that's one of those ones you just like super producer Eureka was saying before. It's just soccer.
Yeah, that's it. It happens.
Yeah. And we do not let this affect us in any way, shape, or form. 2 minutes later, 50th minute, the Zaid train is fully fueled up and ready to go. She gets us our second corner. 57th minute, uncooked, should be undercooked. Undercooked pass from Dallas lets us catch up. They get a corner. 59th minute, Cam Lancaster comes on for Dallas.
All 2,041 fans were going crazy at that point. It sounded like they scored a goal when she was warming up on the.
Did actually, yeah.
Yeah.
60th minute, Nasillo gets fouled. Beckman gets a yellow. 63rd minute, we have a sub again. We have Kennedy White coming out, Erica Chippy coming in, Chisholm going out, and Goins coming in. Goins going in. Yeah, go.
Not to expose anybody here, but Kennedy White had 11 touches on the ball up to this point in the game, the 63rd minute. She just wasn't involved in the attacking plays as much, and maybe this is us playing two strikers together. Shea, like I said, got most of the action. Kennedy did have one shot in the first half, from what I remember. I don't know if she had any in the second, but she just wasn't as involved, and it led to this being like statistically just not a great game for her, and that's going to be the case when you barely touch the ball. So I would like to see what she can bring in the future with more involvement on the ball, but personally, I think I would like to see either her or Shea start and she comes in as the sub. One of those two things happening, I think, together, unless there was something else not happening, maybe the way we were approaching our wingers, or the way, I know Listro and Rajai in the midfield were not getting a lot of the ball in this game, and maybe she was going to play more of a link from the midfield up front, and that link just didn't materialize with the way Dallas was controlling the ball in the midfield more. She just wasn't super active in the game, so I'm interested to see what she can bring. And I've seen her. I've watched her reels from the A-League, and she has pretty lethal finishing with either foot. So I want to see her on the ball, and I want to see her attacking into the box. I think she could be finishing some great goals for us. So I just hope we can get her into that position. And in this game, it wasn't working out. But with Erica Chippa coming on and Goins coming on, Goins is pretty straightforward. She just slides right into Chisholm's spot on the back line. Like I said, it was a back three. Because Chisholm was more responsible for going forward in the first half, because Robbie was going forward more, Goins does not need to do that. Zaid has already been covering that flank, so she just sits in the back line pretty much for the rest of the game, and plays her role pretty well. She doesn't need to move up too much. Chippa, on the other hand, Chippy, as she's known, is definitely covering more of the left wing. So before, in the first half, Scarpelli was getting more forward. Then Nacello kind of filled the hole a little bit at the halftime sub, and then Erica Chippa stepped in and more confidently or competently took over the left wing and allowed Scarpelli again to even more stay back in defense and be able to absorb that Dallas pressure more. So I think this change actually, like, it's kind of interesting to think of an offensive change being a defensive contribution, but I think with Erica Chippa contributing so much more than Kennedy White did in this game in the time she was on the field, then it allowed our defenders to play more defense instead of having to worry about getting forward as much. And then we didn't let Dallas score again. I mean, spoilers for the rest of the game. So I think that actually worked out in our favor, and I think this was a good change. And these kinds of changes in the 63rd minute, we did just give up a goal kind of, to 6 minutes ago or whatever. Or no, it was like 13 minutes ago, but still, we are responding, and we actually made those tactical changes, and the players are responding. And so all of that sounds great to me. I'm back in DSB. I'm a believer again. I'm not sure how much I ever left. I don't think our squad was really up to the task last year. And we know the theme of this squad is grit and determination and seeing it through to the end. And I think that's like what this change represented. And then how the players played after this too is like, okay, we have the players on the field who are fulfilling the roles a little bit better, and we can actually go for it. And this contributes to the pressure that we're able to start to apply in the last 20 minutes and kind of our search for the equalizer towards the end. And I think that's kind of where it started, was the sub.
Yeah. Getting back into the game, 65th minute, Cedeno finally gets a foul for finally gets a yellow, for fouling Nacello. 66th minute, Zaid has already doubled our corner count, very slowly but surely becoming critical to the team again. She did have like some soft tissue stuff going on in the latter half of last season, so we didn't see her as much. And I do think that was a big loss to the team for sure. So excited to see her again, hoping she gets maybe a start when she's ready. She's doing also we're doing really, really good this half to keep Jasmine Hamid off the ball. That was something I kind of mentioned earlier, where we were seeing a lot of her in the first half and we're seeing not as much of her in the second half. So 10 out of 10 on that, quite frankly. She did get a goal. That's we did our job for that part. 71st minute, Liz Beardley catches the ball. I think I remember turning to Brian and being like, she does know how. Which is just me being snarky. I know she's a phenomenal keeper. I'm just being being mean.
You're not wrong for that.
Oh, okay.
We're allowed to be critical.
Thank you. 75th minute, Chippy gets a shot that gets blocked at the top of the box. It falls to Scarpelli, who rips a shot that's really, really good, but the keeper catches it. I liked this just to show that we are, we're not ball watching, which I feel like happened a teensy bit too much last year. And we are, we're making sure that we see the ball, we're getting in a place where maybe we can defect it. I love Scarps for this. She's all over the field doing everything that she can. She's like Superwoman. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry. 80th minute, Nasello charges the keeper who doesn't clear it out. And I didn't finish the sentence. And Erica Chippy. I just didn't finish the sentence. I apologize.
There she is.
Yeah, that's my high journalistic standard. Throw in from Bissett gets to Chippy. It almost gets to Shea Connors for a shot. I like that we're still really pushing. It is the 83rd minute, and we do not look tired, in my opinion. We don't look like we're giving up at all. We don't look like we're parking the bus and taking a loss by any means. Nasello just absolutely wrecks Niku Purcell in the 85th minute, which is incredibly foolish because she's already on a yellow. This is what I was talking about. I absolutely think she could have gotten a second yellow for this, and she would have deserved it, quite frankly. So that's where I was talking. I think the ref might have been a little lenient, and I do thank her for that. It was very kind, and she did not have to.
Much to the chagrin of Dallas fans, I'm sure.
Yeah. No, and if I was a Dallas fan, I'd be pissed too, for sure. A 86th minute, an overcooked Dallas pass keeps us only down by 1 still, thank God. So Dallas is their shots are pretty good, but their passing is not great. 88th minute, we bring on Tori Zierenberg for Shea Connors. She has an adorable pink bow, and I love her. She's adorable. 90 plus 1. I can talk to. We're good at talking today.
No.
Dallas has another shot, gets scooped up by Beardsley, and just 2 minutes later, the 90 plus 3, the last minute of stoppage time, Sun goal. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can see that I was literally shaking my desk to show it was an earthquake. Thank you.
I got you.
Absolutely phenomenal. Starts from Jordy Listro, goes to Zaid, goes to Dario Raji, goes to Goins to Zaid, runs into Nasello, goes back to Zaid, who crosses it into Zierenberg, and then she karate kicks it into the net. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was kind of an unbelievable finish. I mean, I couldn't tell in real time, like when it happened, how she even finished the ball. I thought it might have been a header. I thought it might have been a chest or an arm or I didn't know. And it actually turns out it was like precise footwork. So that was pretty unbelievable. Great finish. Just, it's going to catch the keeper off guard. She's covered by a defender, like who's on top of her practically. There's no way the keeper thinks the ball's coming towards the close post there. And it is actually, Tori Zierenberg, amazing, unexpected. And also Jordan Zaid. This is what I was talking about, doing her work at both ends. She's, I think, I said it towards the end of last season, she was putting so many balls into the box that weren't getting finished. And it's like, okay, maybe she needs just a little bit more placement, a little bit more figuring out where that ball needs to go. And then our forwards or attackers need to be a little bit more creative with their finishes. This is as well placed as Jordan Zaid has ever put it, and as creative as you could ask an attacker to finish it. So it was exactly what I was asking for. Great time to do it right at the end of the game. And I was really happy that all of that planning that I talked about with the tactics and strategy beforehand, like, kind of came to fruition, and we got the right, these were both subs too on the assist and the goal. We got the right players out there to make the impact and make the difference. And yeah, just a wonderful moment.
And I think fastest goal for a Sun player, like in terms of minutes played.
Oh, really? I mean,
it has to be, right? I don't think any debut player has done one in 4.
No, I remember.
4
Was
minutes.
Connors not a really close turnaround to her first goal?
I don't think it was that quick.
There's one that's in the talk. We'll have to dig into the archives and figure out. I know there's one.
Okay,
that
if you
she,
know
like,
what it
subbed
is,
on.
leave it in the comments. If you know who it is,
There has to be. Maybe she subbed on. No, it was like a return game. Like she was injured and she came back and then she scored a goal. And it was like within.
But 4 minutes into Tori Zierenberg's career as a Sun player, she scores.
4 minutes is yes. You're right.
Yeah. So we are now tied 1-1. 90 plus 4. Henny comes on for Daria Raji. 90 plus 5. Bissett is literally on her knees, kicking the ball away out of our box, making sure we're staying level. There's absolute chaos in the box in this last minute. And I really think last year's Sun would have lost this at some point.
We were in panic stations at Coppertail Brewing because this was
this was stressful. Yeah. After the goal, it was just me going blow the whistle, blow the whistle, blow the whistle, blow the whistle, blow the whistle for like a minute and a half straight.
Yeah. Yes, but we saw it out.
Yes. We end with 1 goal each. Dallas has 64% of the ball, 10 shots with 5 on target, 4 corners, 10 fouls. We have the other 36% of the ball, 15 shots with 4 on target. Not a great percentage. We'll work on it, I assume. 5 corners, 18 fouls.
Yeah, I think the result of those stats is just they were able to have like more on target because they were able to do a lot more build-up play with having that much more possession. So we were a little bit more desperate. I'm not going to say that the way we were playing was desperate. We were playing our system pretty effectively, but we had less opportunities that close that we put on target. Also, Shea Connors at the beginning of the game just came out with a little bit of rust and just missed a couple close shots that could have been in and could have been out. So yeah, I don't really have any like complaints about this. I would love to see, like, look at our efficiency here. 4 shots on target, 15 shots total with only 36% of the ball. Imagine if we have 40. Imagine if we have 45. I think we will let other teams have possession on us in the season, but if we can have more than 36% of the ball and still be that efficient, we have goals on the way, at least statistically. So I hope that we can keep this up. We could probably do it with less fouls. 18 is pretty high on the game. And 4 or 5 cards. We could probably do it with less fouls.
But there's a history with Dallas. Even if it is a bunch of new players, there's still a history with Dallas.
Yeah.
We got beef with them.
I mean, and it's a away game to start the season on the road.
Yeah.
The players were, it was chippy on the field. The fans were chirping some of our players. Like it's
and Chippy was on the field.
Yeah, it was chippy and chippy. So yeah, it was definitely like an environment where we were gonna like have our shoulders out and elbows out and be a little more aggressive. And we got the result. So that's what they call it. Doesn't matter how much of the ball you have at the end. If it's 1-1, they call it a draw. So we take those. Great way to start the season, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I love a point on the road. I'll take it. First match of the season. We didn't lose, man. We're the only match that tied. So yeah. I think we're doing something right.
5th place. And that's not 8th place. And that's amazing.
And you know what? We're still above Fort Lauderdale.
You know, now that I think about it, until more expansion teams join the league, Fort Lauderdale, for at least like a couple seasons, is going to be the only team that ever finished 9th. You know, because we only had 1 season of 9 teams so far. I mean, you know, we will have more teams join eventually, but
we're gonna have to make a sign for their home match saying the only team that ever finished 9th.
Yeah. Thank you, Jacksonville, for joining the league so that Fort Lauderdale had the opportunity to finish 9th last year. I really appreciate that. Liz, who was your player of the match for this one?
For me, it had to be Beardsley. Beardsley was on it. She truthfully did not make any mistakes. In this match, she was great. And I feel like sometimes keepers get overlooked for the goal scorers. So I really wanted to give Beardsley her flowers for this.
Yeah, she had a great game. My player of the match is Leah Scarpelli. Overall, just constant contribution. But those long balls over the top that she provided were great looking. I can't wait to see more of those. And then defensively, she was just in her place where she needed to be. That discipline that we've come to kind of learn that this team has, and she just played her role perfectly. I do want to give a special shout out though to Jordan Zaid for her impact. She came in as a second half sub, and I think way more effectively covered the role and ultimately was involved in the buildup and the assist of the game, tying goal. So I'm really happy with how Jordan Zaid played as well. She's a player that we've seen develop since we've had her kind of over the years, and this could be the start of like a really great season for her if she stays healthy. And we can finally see, I think, the contribution that she's worked to like deserve. Hopefully is reflected in the stats this year where it hasn't been in previous years. So yeah, but Leah Scarpelli, Jordan Zaid, two players that I feel very blessed to have on our Tampa Bay Sun this year.
All right. Away we go to Jacksonville.
Yes. Away we go. Like
yeah.
literally us.
Like literally us in a car.
Yes.
So JD and myself will be going to Jacksonville along with a myriad of other Heatwave folks. Again, if you are interested and you would like a ticket link so you can sit with us, please join the Heatwave Discord. Again, leave a comment here. Send a message to RBLR Sun FC. Send a message to the Heatwave. Smoke signals. Like I said, I will get a link to you some way, somehow. So make sure that you do. But JD, tell us about Fort Lauderdale. Tell us about Jacksonville.
Well, I will tell you about Fort Lauderdale actually because they played. So
perfect.
So coming up on Saturday, it's August 22nd, is our trip away to JAX. But they won their first match over Fort Lauderdale, and I want to say that we are at an interesting. We have an interesting opportunity here. Let me get my sentence out because I'm thinking of what I want to say next. So JAX won the game, but it took them until the 89th minute to score that game-winning goal. And from all accounts, I did not watch the whole game. I did watch the highlights and I did read analysis. From all accounts, it seems like Fort Lauderdale is leveled up systemically this year. Again, Tyron Mears back at the head coach role, so he has a little bit more control of what's going on. And it sounds like they played a really tough game against Jacksonville. And it also sounds like, for some reason, Jacksonville, who returned like 10 of their starters in this game from last season, the season where they finished, well, they lost in the semis, but they still went to the playoffs and they were the best team almost all year. It seems like there is something not perfectly clicking for them. So while they did get the result, they're a great team. They might be having a slow start to the season, and it would be wonderful for the Tampa Bay Sun to continue that slow start for Jacksonville next week. So I am very interested to see how they come out. Now they're going to have a lot of desire to play better than they did, as will we. So I think we can expect to see a great game. I think the Sun are in no way, like, they should have expectations that they can win the game. And so I think both teams will play to win, as opposed to just thinking, oh, we're going to Jacksonville, who was first place for a majority of last year, and we have to worry. It's like, no, we should play our A game. And I think they'll expect that too. And they want to play better than they did against Fort Lauderdale too. I think Fort Lauderdale is less upgraded than us. So I think we could do better against them, which is why I'm saying we have an interesting opportunity if Fort Lauderdale played them even for 89 minutes and only let in a goal at the end. In terms of tactics, in this first game, Jacksonville played kind of a wide style, kind of like we did, a lot of work through the wingers and the wing backs to get the ball up the pitch, because Fort Lauderdale was playing a really strong central block with their center backs and also up through like the midfield. They were holding the ball in the middle a lot. So if we let them control possession again, like we did against Dallas, I think we'll need to be more efficient with our long balls from Scarpelli, if that's what we're going to do. Or I think we activate the midfield, because it seemed to work for Fort Lauderdale to keep the ball in the midfield, to keep it away from Jacksonville's wingers. It sounds like Jacksonville had maybe some trouble connecting passes. And this is something that I think, if I did have criticism of our game against Dallas, I think man-to-man, one-on-one, we were losing out. We had a few turnovers there that I wouldn't have wanted to give up. And I think maybe Jacksonville is having a similar problem to that. So if we can level up, if we can play just a little bit better, second game of the season, got our legs underneath us now, I think we could like sneakily take a result away from this. I'm not predicting like a win by any means, but Jacksonville don't look like they're just dominating like they did last year, and we don't look like we're just sucking like we did last year. So I think there could be a result in here for us, or at least a very compelling game that individual players will make the difference for either side. So if no one comes back from injury, I'm just going to assume that our injury list stays the same because we don't have any info about how long those will be. I wonder if we would sit out Kennedy White and just let Shea Connors start, and then have like Nasello play the supportive role, as well as Zierenberg or Erica Chippa come in and support Shea Connors as like an individual point man. That's kind of what I would like to see as an iteration of what happened last week, just because Kennedy White did not get on the ball as much. But if Kennedy White's role is to connect the midfield up to the front, and we get more of the ball in the midfield this game, then she could, it's just up to the Sun coaching staff how we want to line up and how we want to try to move the ball through the middle of the pitch. So I think we have an opportunity here to catch Jacksonville at the start of a slow season. They obviously, if they get their feet under them, they're a contender for the title again. And they have they're probably mad. Last year they lost in the semifinals. They should have been a finalist. They should have been the champion based on how they played for a lot of the season, and Lexington at the end just found that extra gear and pulled ahead and kind of just won it easily. But they're going to have some returning so many players. They're going to have a desire to win. So if we can get a result away, we only play them once away. If we can get that result, that would be amazing. I am I'm always blindly optimistic. I think we could win this game. If we win, screenshot this, screen record this. I'm a genius. If not, just listen to the next episode. Forget I said it. But yeah, I think there's definitely an interesting matchup in here, and I, for one, will be very excited to be there.
Do we have score predictions? We're just gonna do on the fly.
Well, if I'm being real, I would say probably a 1-1 draw. I think Jacksonville is very good. I don't think they will be bad like last week. Not that they were bad, but but I really want to see us win. So I'll happily be wrong if we do. Do you have one?
I know I really want to say 2-1 win. But
if we switch score predictions week to week,
I get it right.
I would be pissed. It's like a risk that I'm saying a draw, but I think maybe there's something cosmically that I need to predict a bad result, and then we actually get the good result, because I always predict us to win. Even when we were terrible last year, I was like, we're gonna win this one for sure. So,
you know what? 2-1 win.
Okay.
I'm going with it. We're sticking with it.
Well, Eureka actually went up to you. Super producer Eureka is predicting a 2-0 win.
Oh.
So he is presumably high or something. Maybe we need to send a wellness check to Eureka after the show ends.
He's drunk. He's drunk on wine. Fancy wine.
So, yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it'll be an exciting matchup either way. And I would love to see us get a point away to Jacksonville. I think that's a fantastic result. A lot of teams will go away to Jacksonville and not get that this year, I believe. But if we can pull out the win like you guys think, then
you're going to have us. So they're going to be.
Yes.
That's how we're going to get that 2-1 win.
The heat wave will almost be in full force. It's almost regularly at the games for us. So
kind of, yeah. Which is which is sad, because that's 11. We said we hit 11 people. There are 2 more that might be going, so that would be 13.
I mean, once the link is out there, and also there's people who don't even talk to us that like the Sun. So there could be even more Sun fans that we don't even know about. So
yeah,
we could have numbers 15, Liz. Open your mind. Anything is possible. But probably not many more than that. We'll see.
No, we'll see. I am gonna try and bring the tiny microphone, so maybe we'll try and interview someone. I don't know, on the fly.
All right,
we'll see. If not, we'll definitely take pictures and talk about how much fun it is and how amazing it was, because we're going to win for sure.
Yes. We'll talk you all into the Fort Lauderdale trip later in the year if you don't make it to Jacksonville.
Yep. All right. Make sure you are following us at RBLR Sports on YouTube. You can see our beautiful faces, adorable kittens, etc. At RBLR Sun FC everywhere else. All the socials you can see up here if you're watching on RBLR Sports, but it's also Instagram, Twitter, Threads, and
not the worst name change that platform has undergone.
yeah, I'm not calling it, but it's Twitter. It's Twitter.
It's Twitter's.
Yeah, it's Twitter's. I'm Lizzie the Lion on Blue Sky. He's Mom Says I'm Ultra on Twitter's. Yeah, and that this is his Lego guy. If you're watching on YouTube, you get to see cool Lego guys.
I've had a cat around here too.
Yeah.
All right. We will see y'all next week.
Yeah, if we make it back from Jacksonville.
I'm not staying in Jacksonville. I'll see you next week.
That's not what I meant, but okay. All right. Bye.
Thank you for tuning into this presentation by RBLR Sports. On your way out of the stadium, please remember to like and subscribe.